Welcome everybody to the Sarpy County and City's Wastewater Agency meeting. Today's Wednesday, October 26th. It's 4:02 p.m. Copy of Nebraska open meeting rules are on the north wall of the boardroom. We'll hold the meeting in accordance with those. In attendance today, we have all 6 agency members. We have Mayor Roseland from Springfield, Mayor Evans from Gretna, Mayor Kindig from La Vista, Mayor Hike from Bellevue, Mayor Black from Papillion. I'm Don Kelly. I represent Sarpy County. Our agency administrator, Dan Hoynes, is here, as well as our agency treasurer, Phil Green. Our agency engineer is here, Jeff Thompson, and our secretary is Lisa Hare. If you would, silence your cell phones, and let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Announcements. Any agency members have anything? Dan? Anything?
Yes, sir, if I may. Several things that aren't on the agenda. Your agenda seems really light, and it is, but that doesn't mean there's not significant things going on within the agency. So I kind of want to set the stage on a couple of things here, Mr. Chair and member mayors. Number one, last Thursday, I believe, the agency did receive formal notice to apply for the WIFIA loan. If you remember, you authorized September 6th the LOI letter of intent. The next step was to receive a formal invitation. We anticipated that would be January, but it came in last week. So agency staff, consultants are in the process of making that formal application to WIFIA, and so we appear, at least from a WIFIA perspective, to be a couple of months ahead of schedule, which is a good thing because we're, from a very global scale, we're really trying to target the April, no later than May 1st time frame to resolve the funding and award the project, the second portion to Hawkins to move forward. Attendant with that, last week, the 13th, maybe 2 weeks ago, the 13th, we did receive a draft report from the Hunden Economic Study. And that study, again, it's in draft. The plan is to finalize it and present it to you for acceptance at the November 16th meeting. The current state is it has been distributed to all of your administrators for review and comment. And we have a meeting Friday to finalize that Hunden report. Again, it's not just significant economic impact, it's very detailed, I think 146 pages of analysis. We already have received some feedback from a couple of the agency members for our meeting on Friday. Do appreciate that. I think that makes it a better report when it comes out. But that is the document that we're depending on to simply say justify our existence or talk about the cost of doing nothing in here. And so I think I meet with your admins on Friday with Hunden. Hunden has the comments that have been provided, I believe, by Papillion and Gretna so far, and they're addressing those. But once we get those, then I'll run it through the internal county review process, but bring that back up to you as a board to accept at the November 16th meeting. You'll be able to articulate, okay, here's the impact of this sewer agency coming in. The branding and website, I want to make eye contact with Mayor Kindig because I know this is his favorite topic, branding. But we actually have three administrators that agree on a concept, which is like, we moved heaven and earth to do that. Tomorrow we'll present what the three, and that's Papillion, myself, and Springfield. Kathleen, Amber, and I have all agreed on, okay, this is what we would like. We'll present that to the other administrators here tomorrow during a meeting, and hopefully we'll be able to move forward and present something to you. So hopefully they'll be showing you what is the final proposal here. Understanding we're never going to have consensus on this thing, but it's been a process. We'll also, with Scopande, finish the website, the content development, and the goal there is to, on or about November 16th, the next meeting, we'll have the Hunden report, we'll have our own brand, we'll have our own presence, identity as an agency. So when that goes out there, you can Google and say, okay, this is the agency, here's the impact, here's what's going on. Finally, and the fourth thing, Mr. Chair, member mayors, I have been working with Phil Green, Jeff, Steve Pangle, and Chris Myers to figure out how to deliver the best accounting services to the agency. It is very complex right now, as you can imagine, with a multi-million-dollar project going on, and it's quite a burden for whether it's Jeff or Phil or the role that Chris is a very limited role. But we hope to bring up a long-term solution to you probably after the first of the year. I think we have a couple of good options, because I think Papillion would like a better solution before the end of June when we come in, because of the time it's taking. So that thank you for your patience. That one other thing, I guess we got a couple of other visitors today. In the room today is Sarpy County's new communications director, Katie Glover. You want to stand up, Katie? I won't make you do an impromptu speech. Bellevue resident, mayor, long fact her husband is a Bellevue fireman in there. So got some Bellevue flavor, but Katie just started today with Sarpy County. Today's her first day, and she was cleaning her office, and I said, hey, come into a meeting. So I'm getting older. I would make you stand up, and what does the chairman say, make you sing your school fight song? So yeah. Generally, I won't call you to there, but thank you. Well, all right.
Fight song or press release, one of the two.
Yeah. Anyway, so just, I think many of you knew that we were in transition here. Megan accepted a position up in Omaha, but feel really blessed to have Katie with us, and look forward to, she does help the agency too, because she works 30 feet away from me. So that concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I was getting a little nervous when you were talking about how complicated the treasurer's job is, because I'm sure Phil's going to be asking for a raise here now. We appreciate all you've done for the agency, but it's not a great long-term solution, and it's coming at a cost to the city of Papillion that they shouldn't have to pay. So we'll get that sooner than later, I hope, because that's an important milestone for this agency. Okay, agency project engineer, Jeff Thompson.
Chairman Kelly, agency member, mayors, Jeff Thompson, project engineer for the agency. I know you're normally used to seeing Leanne Zitlow up here, but as we transition from design into actual construction, I felt it was appropriate, and I think Dan did as well, for me to start providing an update of what's going on in the field. So with that, I got some visual aids just to kind of give you folks, are you able to see that? Can you put it up? Yep. There you go. Just a few visual aids just to kind of give you points of reference of where things are at. Again, I think this is a very familiar slide to the agency board. On the west side of the project, we have the SCI and cold water blowdown line that's being constructed in Springfield's jurisdiction from basically Highway 50 and Fairview Road south all the way through Springfield down to their current wastewater treatment plant facility. That work is being performed by SM Henches and all their subcontractors, while the balance of the work that we're talking about with Hawkins is everything outside of that. Currently what we've awarded is just that eastern part, which is the ZC3 gravity line down to the lift station, and then everything east of that all the way to the Omaha treatment plant. So with that, I will advance my slide here. Just giving you a little blow up here of kind of where things are at with the SM Henches contract and the SCI cold water blowdown. Everything that I have highlighted there with the yellow revision cloud is installed. They're currently in the process of testing both of those pipelines and manholes. So essentially, Fairview or Highway 50 and Fairview Road, everything on the east side of the road south all the way to Main Street is currently installed. They have not made the bore under Highway 50 yet, but are anticipating on having their subcontractor back here probably sometime middle of November to start that bore and get that connection point available for the lift station and the Gemini property. Where they're at on the south side of the project right now at Main Street, they've dug the launching shaft and the receiving shaft for the micro-tunneling operation, which is a little bit different boring operation than you're normally used to seeing in the Omaha metro area. It's a large augering machine that basically is steered with a lot of electronics and different software that they utilize to drive that system. It's about a 700-foot bore. Ran into a few issues once they dug the shaft with the soil conditions there, so they've been working to try to resolve those to the point where they can actually advance that drive and start that micro-tunneling for the SCI. What I provided here was just a real high-level drone shot of where they're at on that south end there. You can see the crane and the actual bore shaft and all the slide rail system, the shoring system that they have here, as well as all the equipment. It's a really complex bore for the project, so there's a specialized contractor from Texas that has come in to do that work. And then just going back, everything on the south end of the project down at the Springfield Wastewater Treatment Plant, as far as the equalization basin goes, is more or less installed. They've started redistributing topsoil on the EQ basin, so that's ready to accept the cold water discharge at any point when we get the system up and running. Next, we're talking about the Hawkins contract. They have mobilized their job trailer and set up their staging area at 63rd Street, just north of Platteview Road. If you happen to take a drive down there, they're on the opposite side of the road of where the lift station will be, and have negotiated a private independent contract with that farmer to stage and position their equipment there. That wasn't part of something that the agency negotiated, but they did go and negotiate that with the farmer there. They're just getting started. They're getting equipment out on site. They're going to start stripping, I think, probably this week or maybe early next, and clearing and grubbing and getting all that work done, waiting on crops to get out of the field. And it's been kind of a little bit of a hit and miss through that area, but I expect things to start ramping up relatively quickly when it comes to seeing dirt moving, and they're going to start transitioning a lot of the pipe that they have down in Springfield over to this location and along the rest of the alignment for segment 3 and 4. I guess I can. This is segment 3. Again, we haven't really started anything at this point other than just continuing the negotiations. I don't want to take too much of Adam's thunder, but we're getting very close on all those acquisitions. And then on segment 4, they did dig a couple of test holes and are staging to start the bore and bore shot under the creek, the West Papio Creek there, the Big Papio Creek there, to get under the creek into the wastewater treatment plant. The test hole they dug here was for a structure that Bellevue had requested, and I think it is subsequently going to add to the overall contract for inclusion with this construction. Ran into some groundwater that wasn't, quite frankly, unexpected. They're going to be putting in some dewatering wells and things of that nature to try to address some of that issue and concern there. But all in all, Hawkins is just really kind of just starting to get their feet a little bit wet and getting equipment staged and getting things ready to really start ramping up. So with that, I'd answer any questions that you might have related to the construction update.
So the approval on that bore underneath the Papio, is that difficult to get, or is it? I mean, it seems like
it was. Yes, we had a 408 permit and a 404 permit, both that we had to procure, and I believe the agency actually paid an absorbent amount of money to expedite the review and
$25,000.
Yeah, in order to expedite that permit to get under the creek. Yes, but it took.
It's all approved and
it is approved. Yeah. Okay. Yep. We finally received approval for that. Correct. And we did receive the one approval for the railroad crossing down there, La Platte Road, from BNSF, which was painful at best, but we're still waiting from UP to try to get that one secured as well.
Okay.
I don't expect any problems with it. It's just paperwork and making sure we provide everything that they're asking for.
Can you go back to one slide to the phase 3?
Segment 3?
Yeah, is that phase 3? Yeah, phase 3. So the lift station is on 63rd Street, just north of Platteview, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. Right.
So
right about here.
this first phases,
Segments.
3 and 4.
I try to keep them distinguished by segments as opposed to.
These segments, will that open up, I mean, how far to the west will that open up immediate access to?
It should open everything up from, basically 72nd Street and this subbase
72nd?
ZC3, yeah, from Platteview, 72nd Street, east all the way to basically the wastewater treatment plant.
So that line north of the lift station, is the Hawkins putting that in too?
Yep. They got 2 subcontractors. Hawkins is actually going to be digging the pipe for this section, and then Van Kirk is going to be working on segment 4.
Okay.
Hymus is going to be working on segment 3.
And to tie back to the Whitfield loan, Dan, you said we could potentially have approval for that by,
Spring?
so is that outside the window? I think that's outside the window where Hawkins would keep our prices guaranteed, is that right?
The variable in Hawkins is materials. If we can award the contract by April, May, their labor and equipment costs stay the same. But because we didn't award back in August, early September, the whole contract, we became subject to material price increases or decreases.
Right. Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, real quick to Chairman, I'd like to introduce the agency's newest employee. We retained an individual to take over the construction observation and operations superintendent role. So he'll essentially be the boots on the ground and, eyes and ears in the field for us during construction, and then we'll transition into the operations superintendent once the system's up and running. So with that, Jacob Sablodnik comes to us from the City of Council Bluffs Waterworks Department. He worked there for about 7 years doing construction inspection and observation for water main construction, which is a pressurized system very similar to the sewer system that we're dealing with and talking about here. He also did day-to-day work and repairs of breaks, water main breaks, valves, tapping, hydrant replacements, and those types of things. He also spends some time after work assisting farmers in harvesting during the harvest season and helping work cattle and things as he grew up around his grandfather's farm and really enjoys those types of activities. He's a volunteer fireman and EMT for McClelland Fire Department, volunteer fire department. He's been doing that for about 10 years. Grew up in Underwood, Iowa, just recently got married in April, so he doesn't have the experience we all have with marriage just yet, but we'll help guide him as on a day-to-day basis as things come up.
I'm sure his wife will appreciate that, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm a perfect role model for that, by the way.
I was going to say, if you can put up with Jeff, you can put up with a wife.
So they don't have any kids yet, but they do have a couple dogs and a cat, and they live on an acreage just outside of Underwood, Iowa. Also has a fetish for collecting small farm toys, tractors, implement toys, and those types of things. He's got over 120 in his collection, and predominantly, well, I shouldn't say predominantly, but John Deere green is pretty much his color. So when you see the logo, he's going to be very happy with the color selection there.
You realize when you have kids, that collection will go away.
That's what
You'll learn.
he loves to watch football, movies with his wife, and then also likes to fish and hunt. So with that, I'd like to welcome Jacob Sablodnik to the team. And,
Absolutely welcome.
Welcome.
Great to have you on the team. Glad to be here. So you know what we call people that live in Underwood, Iowa, when you're from Nebraska? What's that? Tax evaders. Well, we're glad to have you, and we really look forward to the work you're going to do. This is not just an important project. This is a once in a generation kind of deal that really moves the needle for Sarpy County and Nebraska. So thanks for joining our team.
yeah, I think he's going to be a great fit, smart young man, and we're looking forward to having him. So,
Great, thank you, Jeff.
all right, thank you.
Okay, Adam Charlson.
Thank you, Chairman. Jeff, I'm okay with you stealing my thunder, but we, land rights, we closed out segment we will close it out after today, assuming everything passes. So that's the far eastern segment through Bellevue. Segment 3, we're almost done with negotiations. And the ZC3 stretch, we have one property left. I think we're all but there on that as well. So then we'll move to segments 1 and 2 as we go west. And that process is just getting started. Some offer letters are going out to property owners, or some have gone out. And so probably in the next few months, we'll start trickling in more resolutions and hopefully sign purchase agreements for more easements. Then again, the miscellaneous growth management plan questions and items that come through, I'm helping the team on that. And then I'm sure we'll be knee deep in with you very shortly on all those things. So it's gonna be busy next few months. And so if you ask questions for me.
Questions for Adam? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 2 items on the consent agenda. Unless any of the agency members want to see those move to the regular agenda, take a motion to approve as published.
So moved.
Second, Bellevue.
Motion La Vista, second by Bellevue. Discussion on that? Please vote.
Yeas 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, on the regular agenda, item 3 is Resolution 46, approving the professional services proposal by Catalyst Public Affairs. Dan Hoynes, Agency Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, member mayors. If Tim Gay could make his way up, I'll make a couple of comments and then turn the microphone over to Tim. Tim obviously has a lot of history with Sarpy County as a commissioner and then a state senator, and most recently as Catalyst, the lobbyist for Sarpy County. We naturally went to Tim when we were looking how to pierce the veil of the state funding, and within less than a week, we were sitting at breakfast with Senator Arch, and Tim has that dialogue, and then we thought maybe we should pay him for the work that he's doing here. So this is a shorter term contract, I believe 8 or 9 months, but would respectfully request you approve that and allow us to continue to work with Tim and his team, Mr. Chair and member mayor. So Tim, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, thanks. I asked if I could just talk to you guys a little bit about this. First of all, I want to thank Commissioner Kelly. We had a conversation, and I said, well, we do represent Sarpy County, as you know, and I said, well, we're representing everybody now, and this is a big job, what you're asking. We are a for-profit business, and I have employees. But anyway, so we talked, and I said I'd like to help out, and that's where we're at. And I just want to let you all know, we came up, this could be a very short-term contract too. If you get the funding, you don't need us anymore anyway. So I think it's a 30 or 45 day, you can get rid of us, not a problem. I just we picked a number to get it done by. Dan showed you some dates that I didn't sound very crucial. And then the other one, fee, that's kind of our standard fee, $3,000 a month. However, I do want you to know, I've lived here in Sarpy County, my wife and I, for her whole life, her whole adult life. I want to see this happen. We started on the original, getting the legislation for the sewer with Leanne and Adam and others years ago. But you've done a lot of things in the last 2 years, so we got to get up to speed on all those things, be able to tell a story in a cognizant way. And it's not just me, it's 3 other people who will be also learning that story. So that's why we're here today, seeking a contract. And there's going to be a lot of times, I think, where if we're a conduit, I might want to bring one of the mayors to have a better conversation than I would with Dan or Don or whatever, and figure that out. So like I say, if we're representing all of you, that's why we wanted to represent the Wastewater Agency. Other than that, I don't know if you had a chance, but I know you have a million things going on. Is this in your packets of what we're planning to do? It's just an idea. These things change, but we do have the ability, and I can hand these out if you don't have it, but if you could, I'll just hand them out. But the idea is we do have the ability over the years. We have the experience of when it first started. We speak with passion for the whole county. There are many times where we're going to have to go, and we're just going to be a conduit. So you can tell your story and things change and explore funding sources, other things. But anyway, we're going to work as hard as we possibly can for you. Like I say, I know the huge impact this can make, and we need to sell that story with passion and work with your group. But as I say, I put that number on there, but I'd be more than happy. I want every one of you to feel that our compensation is worth what we're doing for you, because I don't want to look you in the eye later and say, oh, that guy, we've got other business, we've got other things going on, but we'll give you, everything we got on this thing. So, but I want to leave that. And any questions, if anybody has anything, I work with Dan very closely, but I know all of you and can deal with all of you as needed, I think, and go from there. So with that, if there's any questions or anything or any concerns, happy to answer or clarify or any
Questions?
You mentioned, but this is an 8-month contract, so it'll be a minimum of, if we get the money in 3 months, it's a minimum of 24 still?
Yeah, absolutely. But it could be 2 months and you could be done if you
Right, but
decide, hey, here's where it is.
Your contract's still a minimum of 24? Or you,
No, that would
it's
be
a
not to exceed, I think. It's not to exceed. And
I guess I'm reading this really quick.
yeah.
So we're paying, it's up to 8 months, but we're doing it on a monthly basis?
Yes, I think it's 30 to 45. Adam, let Adam.
Is that,
Yep, it'll end for sure.
And Mayor, we'll have this authorizes to enter into a contract.
okay,
This is not the contract that's here, it's just the proposal, but it'll.
oh, okay. Just-
See, I think the intent was to get through the end of the legislative session.
Yes.
That would get to it in case one of your options was to introduce legislation, which will probably be one of your options for ARPA funding that would be left over possibly. You're going to explore all options. And yeah, so that's why that month was picked. And the fee number was just our kind of standard fee.
I think your question, Mayor Kindig, just to be clear, what Tim is saying and Adam is the contract will be drafted that if we get manna from heaven January 1st, we put him on notice and he no longer gets paid February. It's 30-day notice.
Just fine.
Clarify, thank you.
Yeah. And that would be great for, they don't
Yeah,
know for
well,
us. So.
People don't know it, but I'm an optimist.
Where you stand depends on where you sit, I guess, right?
Well, you get
It'd be
money-
great for us,
money
for
from
sure.
heaven.
If you get it 60 million, we may wait that.
Okay.
All right.
Any questions for Tim?
I'd make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Papillion, a second by Springfield. Any other comments or questions? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, item 4 is Resolution 47, authorizing the agency board chair and vice chair to execute land rights purchases and agreements and related instruments. Adam.
Thank you. This resolution is combined all, instead of doing separate resolutions for each tract and owner group, we have it broken out into 4 separate owners. I think it covers 8 tracts, maybe more than that. And each broken out by a not to exceed amount of the purchase price for each of the separate contracts. These are ones been negotiated by Midwest right away, Jeff and our team. And we are asking that it be approved. Okay. I can answer any questions or if you have any.
Questions for Adam?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Levista, second by Papillion. Discussion? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, our last item is Resolution 48, approving the filing of petitions to condemn necessary property rights. Adam Charleston, Agency Legal Counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is, we're asking for authority, not actual filing right away on 3 different properties. The first one there, it's the tracts are shown on Exhibit A to the resolution. It's in the ZC3. It's the lone holdout there. We're very, very close with those property owners through their council. It's just more of a matter of, it's a timing thing now. It's like, we're going to go or not. So, and then the other two shown on exhibits B and C, they're all kind of, as the last name suggests, all related. It's more waiting on one family member to kind of say, okay, good, we're all good. And negotiations kind of hit a stall. So we don't want to wait till November, December to get the authority. So we're going to keep negotiating, but we don't know if we're going to get there or not, but we're close. So we're just asking for the authority to condemn those now. And the second two are in segment 3 of the system. Happy to answer any questions on these as well.
Questions for Adam?
Motion to
Okay.
approve?
Second.
Motion by LaVista, second by Springfield. Any further questions or comments? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
So the next meeting is November 16th. Is that to deconflict with Thanksgiving?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman, Mayors. We are off cycle, not because of the holiday. So it's November 16th, and then the December meeting will be December 14th. So if you could calendar those two things, it's not anything,
Yeah, you're right. I'll send out a meeting invite.
okay. Right.
Will there be food at the December 4th meeting?
You know,
I'm just
we
kidding.
can probably set that up, Mayor.
Oh, that's good. Thanks for that
Mr.
heads up.
Chairman.
Okay, all agenda items having been addressed as published, Sarpy County and Cities Wastewater Agency Board is adjourned. Thank you for coming.